So you want to wrap your vehicle. I just wrapped my 2000 Chevy Silverado for the second time. I wrapped it about almost a year ago now. In December of last year, I wrapped it black. I ended up going to a truck show in the donut pit, and I ended up hitting the bed. So I got a new bed, and that's not what this video is about. This video is about wrapping your vehicle. I'm going to be providing tips and tricks. I'm no expert, but just with my experience, I feel like anyone could do it. As long as you have patience and like the right equipment, like a heat gun and some lighting, a squeegee, right? Something that's new about the truck is the Quadra-Steer bed. So I ended up going with the Quadra-Steer bed. Let me know what you guys think about it. I had the OEM caps for it, but I didn't really like the look, so I replaced the caps. And I would have loved to have this molded, but I didn't get the chance to mold it, but that's fine. This is what the wrap is looking like on the truck. We got a Nardo gray look. I got the wrap from Ravuni. Use code EV if you want a discount code. And yeah, I hope you guys enjoy this video. Let's get right into it. And I ended up doing some body work to the truck because from the previous wrap it did peel slightly in parts like this, but I had just sanded it down and primered it. The last wrap didn't remove much considering the truck is repainted, but I hope you guys could learn something from this video. I hope you guys enjoy this video. I try to make it as short as possible. It was like an 8-hour long video and I brought it down to 30 minutes. So that's where I've been at, but let's get into it. So this is gonna be the new color. It's somewhat of like a Nardo gray, but it has gold flakes as well. I'm done with all the body work. I did some sanding on the Quadra-Steer bed. I had some deep scratches on one side, on the other end it needed a Bondo. So I did that, and when I peeled off the wrap it was super easy, but where I tucked it in, it did peel off a little bit, as expected because the truck was repainted. But I did the body work on that too, as you guys can see, kind of right behind me. I just sanded it down, smoothened it out, and primered it. But I'm excited now, so I'm gonna start wrapping the truck, and I'll be giving tips as I go. So first things first is you want to get your wrap. I got my wrap with Ravuni. Shout out Ravuni. Make sure to use code EV for a discount code. And this is a PET wrap, so it's kind of a little bit more glossy. It looks more like paint. And other than that, you want to do your body work, of course, and then from there I'm going to be clay barring every panel as I go before I wrap. So I'm going to start off with the front fenders, so I'll be clay barring the front fenders and then I'll wrap it. Alright, so step one will be prep. You do not want to half-ass this. I'd highly recommend clay barring the whole vehicle, or you could do it panel by panel. I had already clay barred this panel, so what you guys are seeing right now is I'm just cleaning it off with alcohol, and I would highly recommend getting in between those places where you're going to be tucking in the material, because there's dust and dirt in there. Step two would be getting your measurements in for your panels. You're going to get the most out of your wrap with this, and you're going to make sure you have enough. So I would measure twice, cut once. In this clip, you can see me removing the material behind the wrap. This is a really good tip because you could leverage the wrap to your liking so it doesn't stick everywhere. Alright guys, so that is the first panel. I don't know how long I've been doing this. I want to say maybe about an hour or so, give or take. Some key tips is you shouldn't really have to struggle that much. And these are tips that I learned from my first time experiencing. With experience and time, you'll be able to read the lines and which direction the lines are facing. So say like this, the line is facing like this. So that means it's being stretched left and right. So then you pull up, and that's why it's very important for the triangle technique. You see, you pull up and you remove that slack. So now
if you could pay attention to this one's moving left and right. And say you have one hand here and the other hand over here, and you pull in a triangle, a sense of a V, that would disappear. And that's how I've been laying this wrap. And it's not perfect. I will show you guys the imperfections. You see one small air bubble there, and another one right here. But my main thing is right here. My first experience, I got a lot of air bubbles right here. So you want to make sure you want to run it through with your finger, and you want to heat it up multiple times before you continue on throughout the wrap. And one more thing, you always want to give yourself some extra slack. I like to give myself about 2 to 3 inches of overlay on each end. You see we got a bunch of wrap. This is really good because things might go, they might take a turn. And like I know on my first experience, I would end up short. And then you also do not want to cut it, at least if for a beginner purpose, you do not want to cut any of it. Although you think it might help, don't cut any of it. You don't need to cut it at all until you are really done, or to make a relief cut. So what I will be doing now, I have the whole base wrapped. I'm going to be heating it up to make sure if any air bubbles pop up, and after that I will be wrapping the edges, the insides, the corners, and then I will make my cuts. All right, so moving on to the roof. I'm just gonna prep. I had gotten this clay bar at AutoZone, but I used it all. So I just put regular car wash soap and a little bit of water. The surface for the most part is already pretty clean because I clay barred it from the first time I wrapped it. But highly recommend cleaning the surface before you lay the wrap. This clay bar kit was probably like 30 bucks, and it came with this, the clay, and some other wax. And if anything, when you guys have extra pieces, keep them. Don't try to save them. Like when I cut the fenders, I had plenty of extra, and that right there is going to be the rear bumper, or I could even use it for the mirrors or the door handles, for the smaller accessories. So keep in mind to save the wrap, you know, save those small pieces of extra, and you could use them on little pieces. Although you will have plenty of wrap, like that's just how I see it. I try to save like the extra pieces. What you could also do so it's easier is just like cut half of it from the bottom. So it's only gonna be half of it sticking. It's just a little easier like that. I was thinking about peeling it all off and then laying it on, but. So I didn't take my own advice. I removed the whole wrap and I laid it down, which made it much more difficult. You could still do it, but if you're still learning, I would highly recommend leaving the backing material for like half of it. The next tip that I haven't talked about is heating. So you don't want to be too close. I would recommend maybe like 6 inches roughly. You don't want to be too close because you will burn through the material. And you do not want to overheat. I heat it up until the wrinkles or the bubbles or the creases go away, and that's when I know I'm good to lay down the wrap. All right, so this is what I got. I'm still learning very much. I'm learning very much. So if I could give any advice, I think I would cut half of it, and I would do half instead of, I peeled all of it off. I said, fuck it. I peeled all of it off. Big mistake. I called my sister in for some help. I had her, with 2 people, this is way faster. I'm gonna just say that. If you have a friend or someone, a real one that's down to help you, hit them up. And yeah, but let me show you guys what I'm working with right now. So I have most of the middle laid out. You guys can see a few imperfections. Got 1 air bubble, 2 air bubbles. Just super small defects, right? That I'm gonna heat up, and I'm gonna, for little things like this, of course you don't want them, but you could even pop a little hole in them and heat it up, and the air will escape. So this is what I have left right here. I left this. So this is what I mean when I say like peel half of it. I had left this corner for when it comes down. I left that, but I just peeled it on this end. So I'm going to be working on, from the cargo light to the driver's side, I'm going to be working on that, and then I'm going to peel this off and do this end. So I just kind of wanted to give you guys a quick update. We got the whole rooftop wrapped up now. Look at all this excess wrap I have, right? So it's always better. This is a lot of excess wrap. It's always better to have more than less. And you'll have plenty of extra wrap as well. So what I'm gonna do now, I'm gonna open the doors. Well, I already have that door open. And I'm gonna heat this up very hot and do this. I might cut it up into the window seal. Maybe like, I'll give it 1 inch over because I still have to tuck it in, remember that. I won't cut any of the cargo light yet till the end, but yeah, for the most part. And then you could also just preheat the surface. You always want to preheat the surface to see if any air bubbles come up. This was not a perfect wrap, but I'm happy with it. Let's start right here. So you guys can see I'm cutting the material, but I'd highly recommend using a squeegee. I'm just trying new things, so I was cutting alongside this tool, but it didn't work that good. I would cut it with a squeegee by your side. And something that I don't do, but I would recommend, would be putting tape underneath some areas that you will be cutting on top of, like maybe the headlights, or for my case, the rear window. You know, it's just to protect any scratches. If you're still here, you're the best. I hope you're getting some good tips from this, but for this clip, I just want to emphasize in starting in the center, whether it may be the bed, the tailgate, or the roof. It's easier to work with, and then I've also encountered like extra material that like you can't get away from it. I don't know how to explain it, but just trust me in on this. Start in the center and work your way out. Getting some good progress. I had used the magnet. If you have a magnet half of it and then peel off half of it. I peeled off half up until the handlebar, and then I heated it up and I laid it down as best as I could, and then I came on the other end and I removed the magnets and I peeled off the layer, and then I heated it up and laid it down. The main thing, you want to start from the middle and you want to come out, and you want to get on top of the tailgate, and at the bottom of the tailgate you could leave this bottom piece. You could leave this bottom piece because you could always pull up on the wrap and get out whatever wrinkles you need to. But you want to start from the center, okay? And if you have any, you could also pull towards the center if you need to, but for the most part you should be able to pull up, heat up, and stretch. So that was that. Now I'm gonna the center is perfect, so now I'm gonna start and tackle a certain side. It doesn't matter what side you start. But you see all these bubbles right here. We have all these bubbles right here. So instead of squeegeeing these out, we're gonna peel off the whole wrap. We're gonna peel off the whole wrap again, heat it up around this surface area, and we're gonna lay it down mirror. You know, we're gonna mirror the wrap. So we're gonna want to heat it up, everything is gonna go away, and then you want to pull in the triangle method and lay it down flat, and it should look like a mirror. I'll show you guys right now what I'm gonna do, and you guys will see with these lines. You see these lines are going right to left direction, right? So what you could do is you could peel up. If I pull up, you see those are gonna disappear. So that's the direction you want to pull, because the direction it's stretching in is to the right and left, because that's how I laid the wrap down. So what I'm gonna do the same thing with this end. I'm gonna do the same thing with the passenger side. I'm gonna peel it off all the way up until these lines, heat it up, and just keep laying it in the triangle method. But you could also, if you're closer to the bottom or top, you could just pull down. You see I'm pulling down, and we're getting all the wrinkles from where I've lifted out. So you could also do that, but I think you would get more out of your pool if you just pull the whole wrap off, and you guys will see. So I haven't talked about how much material you need. What I got was 5 feet by 79 feet. And this is the end of the first roll. It comes in 2 rolls, and that was the first roll. And that was plenty, because I was able to wrap the fenders, the tailgate, the rear bumper, the roof, and the hood. All right, so we have the passenger side done. You can see a few bubbles right here. This is paint chip, and then these are air bubbles. But I'm gonna just poke a hole, and it's not perfect, but it was pretty easy having a helper, and also having this end. It still has the wrap, right? So it's not gonna stick. I would recommend this for larger pieces like the hood, and I would also recommend it for the roof. I didn't do it on the roof, but I struggled a little bit, and yeah. So for like a fender, I wouldn't do it, but for like a door, I would cut to half of it, maybe like to the door handle, work from the top down. And same with the bed, I would probably work to like that bottom crease and then do that. But I'll show you guys some progress for this side. So this is going to be vehicle dependent, but when tucking in the wrap, I removed everything and I got underneath everything. You know, that's the best way of doing it. That way you get everything, but it's vehicle dependent, of course. And what you guys are seeing right now is me over exaggerating that triangle pull technique. It didn't really help on this bed because this is a wide body bed, and it just, you guys can see I'm trying to read the lines, but it wasn't that effective. I got small progress, but not enough. But yeah, this was a great learning experience. I hope you guys got good advice from this. And to be honest, you guys got all the basics from here. So make sure to drop a like. But stay tuned if you want some more advice that I'll be leaving throughout this video, or just to see how the truck came out. This tip is for those that will be wrapping a Silverado. This HD pad, or whatever, it doesn't have to be the HD pad, but that pad, for whatever ear you have, the wrap will not stick to it. So you will have to paint it. I sprayed some primer on there, but I made a mistake. So when you put the wrap on there and you peel it off like I just did right there, you will peel off the primer and it won't stick as good, and the primer will show. It'll be like orange peel. So that's just one tip for me to you guys. I called in some help for this.
You could do it as long as someone is holding the material up for you and you are not laying it down. If someone's holding the material up for you, then you could just follow through, squeegee all the way. And yeah, you see right there, I'm showing off that orange peel. But I still haven't mastered it. I still haven't mastered in person. There's some creases on the HD pad, kind of where the headlight is, where you guys can see all those wrinkles. But on the passenger side, it's much more glossier because I didn't peel it off at that point. So that's just one thing to look out for. You could for sure wrap it, but you need to primer it. Moving on, we got a short clip of me cutting the fenders. Yeah, and I got a 2-inch spacer, as you guys can see there. So I'm putting y'all on game. If y'all ever get a Quadra steer and y'all aren't gonna put a big lip on it right away or a big tire on it, get a 2-inch spacer, but you will have to cut the fender. If not, you could do a 1.5 and you have some good fitment. So the final piece is done. It is probably like 11 p.m. on a Friday and we got troqueando on a Saturday. I rolled the fenders. I basically did everything. So now the grill is the last piece. And just to update you guys, the double-sided tape did not work. So forget about the double-sided tape. We went ahead and my helper and I, we cut it ourselves. So look at those cuts. They're pretty nice cuts. It honestly wasn't as bad as I thought it was gonna be. But yeah, so now I'm just gonna assemble the grill and put these badges on. And I did get some new lights. We went with the stealth light up here. This one actually looks super badass. It matches the Quadra steer smoked out lights I got. And then we also went with these cat eye smoked out tail lights as well. I'm not a big fan of them, but I think it matches more than the previous ones. And then I got 2-inch spacers installed and I cut the fenders. So yeah, I found out that you cannot run reverse steelies with the Quadra steer bed unless your diff is cut. I thought with the bed being just way more wider, I would have been able to clear them, but a friend of mine, he put me on and he told me that was not gonna work out, so he saved me some money on that. But yeah, enough talking. I'm gonna put the grill on, the badges, and we're done. And